This time in America, in a courtroom, and the lead role is former President Donald Trump.
And here's what he told reporters in New York. Just a warning, this clip contains lots of flashing photography.
Because it's a scam, and this is a case that should have never been brought, and it's a case that now should be dismissed. Everybody saw what happened today. Everybody saw what happened with their star witness, who admitted that I never told him what he originally said. I did. He admitted that he lied, and he has absolutely no credibility whatsoever. That's their only witness.
Now, he was warned to avoid political speeches and just answer the questions while giving evidence in this trial, with the judge threatening to remove him from the courtroom. There were a lot of tense exchanges between the judge and President Trump's legal team.
Well, the former US president, and we should say presidential hopeful again, is accused of inflating his net worth, but he denies any wrongdoing.
Right, well, let's speak to Amy Tarkanian about this. Amy is a political pundit and she's a strategist. She knows everything there is to know about this. She's former chair of the Nevadan Republican Party as well. Amy, very good to see you. Thanks for talking to us this morning.
Thank you for having me. I wish I knew everything that was going on, because this circus just seems to be getting bigger and crazier by the second.
Yeah, bigger and crazier. Absolutely right. The relationship between the judge and the Trump defense team seems to be absolutely awful. But if it wasn't so serious, it would be comical, completely comical. I look at Trump, and whatever bravado he puts on, he's a man in his 70s. This has got to be really, really stressful and taking its toll on him, surely.
Well, you would think, and one would think actually, after the first indictment, that you would probably take pause and probably, start to unravel somewhat mentally and physically. But with each indictment, he seems to just keep plowing right along, and he gets stronger and stronger with his base, keeps fundraising off of each situation. And I think this one, though, however, is different. It is a civil case. And at this point, people need to remember that the judge has already found there to be some form of fraud. So now it's more of what are the repercussions? And that's where the stage that we're at right now. What are going to be the repercussions of what was found? And so the fact that this one deals with, even as Trump said it himself, that he didn't add into his financial worth and into his statements, the fact that his brand is what is probably, the most beneficial for all of his finances. The thing that actually has brought in the most money for he and his family is the Trump name. And so that wasn't included. And the fact that they are now looking at possibly removing any type of, further business deals and doings in New York, that's going to be devastating. It's going to be a huge blow to his ego. They're also going to try to remove any business licensing to where even his sons wouldn't be able to take it over. So now the question's going to be, where would it go if they do end up removing his business licensing? Is it going to go to Ivanka? What happens with that? Because now she takes the stand Wednesday.
She'd applied, hadn't she, to try and avoid being put in the dock, but she didn't manage to dodge that one, and she will, as you say, appear on Wednesday. And, it doesn't matter how many legal problems Donald Trump's facing. You talk about this being, all about what the penalties are, the repercussions, big money, whether he loses his licence. He's got these 3 other criminal cases, and he's already been charged in a 4th criminal case, and every time he's in trouble, he seems to do better in the polls. And I think in the swing states, like I believe Nevada is one of the swing states, he's just pulling away now from Biden and all of this.
Well, a couple of things. I have a tough time believing that poll. I do think that polls can be skewed. And I think that this poll actually was released more so to push Biden to the side, maybe so then that way Democrats would finally take some serious pause and look for a plan B or a plan C. I think the fact that Biden has become quite a disappointment in many's eyes. Nobody really wants to see a redo of Biden versus Trump. but it looks like that's where we are at this point. I don't think that Trump actually is winning Nevada. And when you look at our voter registration numbers, nonpartisan and independents are actually at the top. And then you have Democrats in trailing, and third, and I mean trailing, way behind nonpartisans, are the Republicans. So I have a tough time believing that Trump is actually winning in Nevada. But with that being said, I do think it's probably closer than many had anticipated. But once again, I think it's just because Biden has done such a terrible job. But there is an extreme hatred, not just a disappointment like people have with Biden, an extreme hatred by many who would be considered soft Democrats or independents and nonpartisans. Many women, Trump lost the women vote in the last election. I don't think he would be able to get that crossover that he would need actually in the general election.
So when you say there's extreme hatred, do you mean these people have no respect for him?
Oh, 100%. Yes. He still goes around spewing the same damaging rhetoric, claiming that the elections were stolen, that there's voter fraud rampant. And so, when he's going around saying these things, people are questioning, well, then why are you running if the system is still the same? None of this is making sense. And they had nothing to show of it. They lost at every turn, at every time they went to a court in numerous states. They lost every single court case because they didn't have the proof that was the case. So he's really excellent at playing the victim. He's put himself in the position of being the martyr, political martyr, and rallying his base and basically putting them into his shoes and saying, if they're going to come after me, you're next if you don't reelect me. I am the only one who can save America, and you need to put me back or else.
Well, that particular allegation about the election is what he's facing in Georgia, is the one trial that could put him behind bars. All to play for. Fascinating, if not a little bit alarming to watch from over here. Thank you very much, Amy Tarkanian, for your views this morning. Political pundit and strategist joining us.
We could have talked to you all day, Amy, but we haven't got all day.